Welcome to the Ice Guys, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. It is Tuesday, May 31st. We hope you all had a great Memorial Day. Those of you south of the border in the United States put some burgers and hot dogs and all this other stuff on the barbecue and enjoyed a great Memorial Day holiday. And now we're back to the conference finals, ready to get underway. We've got Game 1, Edmonton, Colorado tonight. And Game 1, the New York Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. And you know what we're also looking forward to? We've got the dynamic Desert Duo joining us here on the Ice Guys show today, both at the same time. We were supposed to have Casey Nelson on all along, and then Eddie Lack comes along and says, hey, I know this guy. Let's get us on the same show. So because I'm a great host and a great producer, because I do both jobs, I wear multiple hats here with the Ice Guys, I said, let's make it happen, and here we go. We have Eddie Lack, Casey Nelson, two former NHL players joining us here on the Ice Guys. Casey, Eddie, great to have you. How are things?
Thanks for having us. Yeah, it's all good. We're actually we're both in real estate now, right? So we just had a showing here. I have a listing, and he's got a buyer that we're trying to connect here. So yeah, we just figured to be on the show together. It'd be fun.
Might as well do it at the listing too. So we're here. We're here after the showing, and we're making our acquaintance here in the house.
Yeah, exactly. You guys get to know what the NHL general managers, are all about and what they've got to deal with. Close the deal, get the deal done. Yeah, exactly. Now you know a little bit about that. So how did you guys meet each other? Was it just as simple as, hey, we're two retired hockey players, two former NHLers, we're selling real estate in the same damn state. Let's be friends. Is it really that simple?
So I would say, I was in Minnesota before this, right? Until about 7 months ago now. So I was selling real estate in Minnesota, and I have a couple friends here. One of them I used to play with at Mankato. So he's selling real estate here. I knew he was getting his license here before I moved down here. And then I knew that he knew Eddie Lack, as well as one other friend of ours that would come visit at Mankato. So kind of a Mankato connection. And then they met Eddie. And then, we kind of just wanted to join forces. So my wife hates the cold, and she said, hey, let's move down to Arizona. And it was kind of the perfect time too. So, kind of just moved our way across the country, and we're here. So
yeah. So my story's a little different. The way that I saw it, Casey wanted to come and join my real estate team, and I really needed a good left winger for my beer league team. So I said, all right, I will let you join my real estate team, but you're gonna have to play beer league every Tuesday.
It was very good.
Yeah.
Process for sure. Yeah.
That's good. Good stuff. So Arizona, I can imagine. By the way, I just apparently have heard that you guys recently golfed, had a round of golf last week or the other day. Who the hell's the better golfer? Here's your chance to state your case.
It's not me. I don't golf enough. If I did golf enough.
So you're not even putting up a fight in this battle, Casey?
No. It's not crazy. I'd have to have a good round of golf to really beat him. So
I would say that I have a little bit of an advantage too, because I've lived here for 4 years now. So I've been able to play year round compared to like the 2 months a year. Minnesota.
I got to turn up. I got to turn up the frequency that I get out to have any chance against this guy. So.
You're both better than me in that regard when it comes to golf. I mean, I spend the whole round just looking for my ball in the bushes and in the trees somewhere. It's just basically a gardening expedition here. Yeah.
And now I have to carry an extra club in my bag for when I go in the desert, so I don't screw up a wedge out there. So that's a desert wedge now since I moved here. So.
Yeah, I'll leave golf to the two of you guys. That's for sure. It's you're definitely you're still worlds and eons ahead of where I am in that regard for sure. You know what was I going to say here? I just happened to see the MSG Network had Game 7 pregame of Rangers Hurricanes. You're a countryman, Eddie, and of course fellow goaltender Henrik Lundqvist, rocking these just. I got to imagine they cost a fortune, these suits. I mean, they're unbelievable. Dressed to the tens every frickin' time he's on the air. It's unbelievable. But are you trying to keep up with him in that regard, with the fashion and the clothing?
Well, I played a world championship with him, and like right after that, I kind of decided that I'm never going to be able to keep up, you know. So right then and there, I kind of gave up. The story there is he came for like the quarterfinals or like whatever, right? So he came in late, and he flew over the Atlantic in a tracksuit and everything. And what he told us, because he like knew that there were going to be photographers and like media and everything, so like 10 minutes before they landed, he went in the bathroom and like put on his full suit and everything. So kind of like then and there, I like decided that this guy is way out of my league.
There's just no shot you're going to be able to keep up with Henrik Lundqvist with the suits and the wardrobes. Yeah. Yeah, and he's done a great job on television, by the way. You can tell he knows the game. It's a perfect fit for him. MSG Network, lifelong Ranger. It was a great fit for him. Andrew McGinnis, great fit for the Ice Guys show as well, joining us here. Andrew, welcome in, and say hello to Eddie Lack, Casey Nelson, our guests.
Hey, guys. How are you guys doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. Great to meet you. Watched the full career.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that long for either of us.
Hey, I'm a fan.
Hey, Elliot Friedman said something on the show a couple of nights ago. It's like it was Anthony Stewart. They were laughing at the guy, Anthony Stewart, because he didn't have quite the skill set that some other hockey players. And he said, well, and Elliot's trying to back him up. Give him a break. One game in the NHL is good, or, whatever it is, and that's true. That's the way you should look at it, both of you. You got more than that, much more than that in terms of games in the NHL. So, definitely was a good thing to see there. By the way,
and that wasn't meant to be a joke. I was being genuine.
Yeah, of course.
I know you guys laugh when I said that, but hey, I told my friends I was doing a podcast, and hey, here we go. So, you talk about Henrik Lundqvist.
I mean, the guy didn't have any hands. He couldn't skate, but he's like probably one of the most famous people in the hockey world now. Would you say?
Who was it? Sorry, I missed that.
Paul Bisnasty.
Oh,
Bisnasty. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but he's probably let's be
Star
honest.
of the panel.
He's probably made more money with Barstool than he did in his NHL career.
Yeah, 100%.
That's not even a question.
You guys talk about Lundqvist. My favorite story I heard about Lundqvist was I think it was somebody asking him about the All-Star. There was like an All-Star weekend, like what he was wearing to this certain event, and they showed up, and it was supposed to be business casual for the event. And I can't remember who it was, but then Lundqvist said, like, dude, there's no such thing as business casual, man. There's no such thing as overdressed. And he's just like full on like suit, no matter where. Is that true about that guy? I mean, is this guy just always overdressed?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really overdress, right? So he didn't overdress.
No such thing as overdressed, I guess.
Hank definitely brought his A game every single day.
One up. Oh,
one up always.
But you're not going to see me in a suit very often. I don't care what the price of it is. I don't care if it's the best Armani suit, the most fucking expensive suit ever. I'm not wearing it. I'm a golf shirt, t-shirt guy. I want to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable, man. And I don't find I'm comfortable in suits very often. So that's all you're getting out of me.
Back in mini, I definitely dress a little better for showings and stuff.
Yeah.
But with the heat here, there's just no shot.
Especially if I was in Arizona. I'm not wearing a suit. Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of agents look a little weird on us, but like, hey, we're dressed up in full like suits, and I'm like, well, we like wore full like suits for games for so long. I'm like, it's 110 outside. I'm not gonna dress up in a suit.
Yeah,
I mean,
here I'm sweating by the time I even get there.
So what do you guys think about like the just kind of like the culture around like the rules changing from certain teams about like dress code? I know the Leafs changed it. I know like in the NBA, I mean, you can have some players wear like sweatpants and hoodies, and some players are wearing like suits. Like, obviously, like, you grow up
freedom to wear what you want.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think it's kind of cool, like that, like, you see like hockey players wear like nice suits and stuff like that, but also like to have the ability to wear what you want is kind of a cool thing too. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on the NHL, like, or certain teams loosening up on that?
I think it's good for. I would honestly say it's good for guys, I guess, off the ice kind of stuff. So like, there's always like, NBA stuff. There's always like accounts and stuff, following them just for fashion and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say money away from the sport, like their image with their social media accounts, stuff like that, and getting side deals. I think it's good for that. So, I mean, I would say it's definitely growing the game. I mean, it's more exposure. I mean, the more people talking about, say, Austin Matthews, right? He's a big fashion guy. So, I mean, more people talking about it. I guess more people see it. So, it's definitely can't hurt the game. That's for sure.
The NBA took it like a little bit one step too far.
Russell Westbrook's outfits are a little
Certain
bit.
players
It's a little bit. Yeah.
Know that you can wear whatever you want, but like, do you really want to wear that?
You really want to wear a onesie? I mean, really?
Yeah. So like, I grew up playing basketball, but like pretty much for a living, I talk hockey on podcasts. I watched hockey and like pretty much like, you know, broke down games more. I find it ridiculous that my friends at like young ages, you know, you're like 8, 9, 10 years old and you're wearing a suit or like, you know, dress shirt and tie. It's like that hockey culture. And I'm like, why the hell are you guys as coaches? Who's in the stands besides your parents? Like, you're 9 years old, you know, like, and the coaches are telling them, well, it's just to like practice good habits for like major, junior, or for like prep school and stuff. But like, I don't know, man. I think it's kind of weird. These kids are like 10 years old and their coaches are making them wear ties. They're
getting recruited so damn young now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The only one that's upset about this is Don Cherry. Don Cherry's just doing. He's just losing it. He's losing his shit over this. They're not wearing any suits anymore. What the hell, these young kids these days? Yeah, that would be bothering Don Cherry. Don Cherry's always been a fucking stickler for wear the suit, wear the tie, look like a good Canadian boy. Look like that good Canadian boy there.
Love to see his closet.
I love it too when like the NBA guys, they like take like digs on the players that they're gonna play against. I mean, wasn't it like Draymond Green that wore like a jersey of an old ex of like the team that he was gonna play against and stuff?
Yeah.
Like things like that. It's like fun to me too.
More personality, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I gotta say something real quick about Don Cherry since Ian mentioned him. I saw there was a show in Canada. Somebody had like an interview one-on-one with Don Cherry, and I thought this was a joke. I thought it was 100% going to be a joke. Apparently, he got some of his suit designs at a curtain shop. No joke, like where you buy like curtains, like or like shower curtains and stuff.
Have you seen some of those suits?
Yeah. But I swear to God, like he said, like he'd go in there and then they'd be like, "That looks pretty cool," and then he would turn that into a suit. Like imagine like you buy a shower curtain, you like walk in, you're like, okay, and then that's just this guy's suit.
Well, I said to a buddy of mine years ago, Don Cherry wears nothing but curtains and bed sheets as suits. You know, essentially, that's what he's got. That's what he's rocking. Yeah, it's by the way, Don, we hope he's doing well. We know he's been off television for a while, but hopefully all's well. All right, Casey, sorry, I apologize as a Sabres fan for the shit show and shit storm you dealt with there when you played there. It's nice to at least see they finished this season strong, that the organization looks like it's going in a little bit of a better direction. But we got memory lane. We haven't done memory lane with every player recently, but you two have got a lot of highlight clips that we found. So we got some memory lane shit for both of you. We're going to start with you, Casey Nelson, a memory that I'm sure stands out in your mind from the past here. Let me just bring it up on the cue here. All right, here we go.
Buffalo on the attack. Another shorthanded chance. Rushing up the ice. Nelson stopped by Bernier. Casey Nelson stays with it.
I love how you're all teeth during this. You're just laughing.
And another shorthanded goal by the Sabres. They have a pair of them tonight. They trail it by one.
Now, didn't I roll out the red carpet for you or what with that highlight reel? With that clip?
Penalty kill, and I do a wraparound. I get a wraparound chance on the penalty kill for my first NHL goal.
He is celebrating the same in beer league too. I can confirm.
Same
Sally, exact same.
You got to get. Yeah, I'm always getting up in the play.
The knee up and like the two fist bumps. Like yeah. like that is a highlight reel in itself.
Yeah.
Well, really, like some of the goals you see people score for their first, like, is not good. So like when you hear the commentators get excited about someone's first goal and they say like this is one they'll remember, I mean, some of the goals people score for their first are like off a leg, you know, like they weren't even looking, or like a weird goal. That's a pretty nice one.
So that he bounced off of, if you look at it close, Eric Johnson sliding into the goal this way. So I actually bounced it off of Eric Johnson and.
Oh, jeez. Now you ruined the whole thing. Like, you wouldn't have actually seen it that clearly on the live shot.
Let's start over.
Hey, it's funny.
Yeah. Cut.
It's good because there's like 4 Avs players and then it's me right there. You know what I mean? In the same shot. Yeah. No, it was good. That was pretty. We didn't win that game, of course. So.
You didn't win much when you were there. What's the matter with you?
Stop talking.
All right, Eddie, we didn't forget about you. We do have something of your and some of your work from the past. Let's see what we got in the treasure chest for Eddie Lack from the past. Here we go.
Michael Ferland in the skate, and Ferland got another piece of it. Here's a giveaway. Jones, what a save by Eddie Lack.
That's bailing out your teammate right there. What a fucking horrible giveaway.
It all started with a big hit by Ferland. And Tanev just maybe looked up.
Tanev, and I've been praising him for the way he's played in Calgary this year, and that's the guy that did it.
Stare him down. Stare him down after the save.
Pretty impressive.
Like a goalie's best friend, and then he goes and do something like that. Like, yep. I always knew he had a thing for me. He wanted me out of there. And that was my last game as a Canuck, I think, too. So, yeah.
Now, Eddie didn't just fight pucks in his career. He fought his paraphernalia and equipment at times, too.
Each other briefly after the game, and, we keep in touch, but this is the chance to actually see each other and, look forward to that, that 15, 20 minutes that you get afterwards. I mean, that's not a lot of time, but it's nice.
No, I didn't even know I was on camera.
That was Eddie Lack in the background. Never mind what Ryan Miller's great career, of course, but never mind Ryan Miller. The part that you needed to be concerned about was in the background there. Eddie Lack, apparently, Eddie versus Shirt, and Shirt won that battle. Apparently, Eddie. What happened there?
No. He's never won that battle.
No. I mean, you've been sitting on the bench for like three hours. You were sweating and it dried up, and it's just like, I mean, everything's just sticking to you. It's the Shirt always won.
All right, great stuff.
I mean, what's it like when you see that? You're probably like, are you mad? Like, because sometimes you probably just have no idea not mad, but like when there's a camera on you, like you guys probably have so many cameras around you all the time, but
probably has no fucking clue.
Yeah.
Well,
sure
it's
probably,
now, like, it's been 10 years, and I'm thinking back, I'm like, dude, are you okay?
Someone on YouTube, and when I was putting these clips together for the show here with YouTube joining us, someone on YouTube added the quote on the YouTube channel with one of Eddie Lack. I guess it was discussion topic was on you and your career. The weird career of Eddie Lack. The weird career of Eddie Lack. How about you, the man himself? Did you find that it was weird? Do you agree with that?
I mean, I just went through all the emotions and everything, and being hurt and playing hurt. I mean, I didn't have one game in NHL where I felt like, oh my God, I'm like 100%, like I had my first hip surgery in the off season before I went up to like the NHL, and then I came back and I felt good for like training camp and kind of good for like the start of the season, and then about 1.5 months in, I started feeling like pain and discomfort in like the other hip, right? And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go through all of like what I did now and then like lose like my spot to someone else and everything like that. So I just wanted to work through it, and dealing with that pain for like 5-6 years, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse. It was just like when I had my second surgery, I told myself that if I'm not 100%, I'm not gonna like force it and come back and
If I'm not feeling like I'm at my absolute best, we're shutting it down, right?
No, exactly. So like the decision was kind of easy for me. Like my body made the decision for me, but I'm always wondering like, hey, what if I didn't have these issues and everything like that? Cause like nowhere in my mind did I think that I like lived up to my full potential, you know, like now when I'm 34 is probably the time where I would hit my peak, you know. And so that's like the only thing that I'm kind of wondering and like sitting back sometimes, you know.
I gotta ask a question here, Ian. Like, how important was it for you to stay involved in the sport? You know, I know some hockey players that it's just been part of your life since you're like 5 years old. Once your career is over, you just kind of wrap things up. And I know some people don't even watch the game. How important was it for you to stay involved with the game of hockey?
Yeah, I mean, hockey's been the thing that I loved from I was 5-6 years old, and pretty much up until this last 2.5 years here. I mean, hockey was the only thing that I knew, so it was important for me to stay within the game, especially during this transition period and everything, because like Hockey Eddie was the only Eddie that I knew. So yeah, having the gig with ASU and being there for like practices a few times a week and everything like that, that was important for me, because I still felt like myself, I guess.
That's a good question, Andrew. Well done. What was I going to say? When Eddie mentioned he's 34, I had to, I just stunned by that. I'm older than everybody now. What the hell's going on here? Is there anybody older than me now?
How old are you, Ian?
I'm going to be 37 in a month or two.
Jeez.
2 months, yeah.
Still a young buck.
Yeah, well, tell my body that.
Jeez,
tell my expanding waistline.
You're an old man.
You talk about Eddie trying to put the damn
hold on, guys. Hold on. This guy on the top left of the screen can never say an expanding waistline. I'm not going to ask you how much you weigh, Ian, but I know you're not. You can't talk about weight. You can't talk about weight.
I drink like 2-3 beers a day now. That's what it is. I mean, I'm skinny growing up. I get that, and I've been that way most of my life. But it's getting there. It's getting there. Me putting on a pair of pants and jeans the other day was like Eddie trying to get the shirt off. I mean, it was difficult. It's hard. It's tricky now, and it's because of the beer I'm drinking. I'm positive of that.
That's 70, and that's wet coming out of the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's his excuse. That's it.
All right, awesome. All right, guys, let's get into some NHL right now. Talk a little bit about we'll get to the conference finals in a sec. Just briefly, let's put a nice little bow on the Rangers and the Hurricanes last night, although it's not a nice little bow for me or Andrew for that matter from a betting standpoint. I mean, I had Carolina to win the series and game one was a combo at plus 105. It was a great price on that. I thought that was better than laying $1.90 with Carolina in the series price. And Andrew liked the Carolina specifically in the series, but specifically last night in Game 7 individually. All you can do if you're Carolina and you're a fan of them or a backer of them is tip your cap to the Rangers and Igor Shesterkin. I mean, just an absolutely outstanding job that he did throughout that series, throughout the playoffs. He's been magnificent in that. He was the difference for a large part of that series. And for the Carolina Hurricanes, you can't have your special teams go to shit.
It's you.
Down the stretch of that series. We really saw the Carolina Hurricanes special teams falter. And it's a situation where, that's what was the difference in the end. We had the penalty kill, which was number one all year for the Hurricanes. They give up 4 or 5 straight games. The Rangers score a power play goal. And the Carolina Hurricanes were one of the league leaders in penalties all year. They never corrected it. They're always in the penalty box. It's been the one flaw they had all year, but the penalty kill was so strong, you never noticed all the penalties they took because they killed off every one. It was that good. And then in that series, though, against the Rangers, whether it was Zibanejad, Kreider, Adam Fox with a big power play goal to get the game started last night. The penalty kill just sucked at the worst possible time for the Carolina Hurricanes. And now they're going home, and the New York Rangers are moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals, and credit to them. And Igor Shesterkin and Andrei Vasilevsky is going to be one hell of a goaltending duel in the Eastern Conference Finals. Eddie, for sure, I know will appreciate what we could be seeing there with the goaltending matchup coming up in the East Final. So, guys, I'll throw it to you. Casey, Eddie, thoughts on the Rangers moving on past Carolina?
I mean, they came out. I mean, it's tough to come back after being down pretty damn quick. So, I think up until that game 7, every home team won the game, right, in that series.
Yep.
So, I mean, I did pick Rangers to win that game 7, but I don't know. I just think going off of that game 6, that's a lot of momentum, and obviously you're going back home to try to finish it off for Carolina there. But I don't know. I think Rangers have just been solid, too solid.
They have been, and the special teams was phenomenal for them. It was not good for Carolina, and Shesterkin was better than Ronta, especially toward the end of that series as well. Eddie, what did you think of that one?
Yeah, I mean, I had Carolina early too. I had them to win the series as well. I just think I don't know what kind of horseshoe the Rangers have had up their ass entire season. I almost feel like here.
There's a lot of people that think that they're riding a magic carpet right now.
Yeah, and a lot of the times that's what a good goalie does to your team too. And Igor has been phenomenal these like 3 years or like 4 years he's been in the league now. Three I think now. But yeah, I don't know. They're in for a really tough task ahead of them. But yeah, I was really hoping for Carolina to pull through yesterday.
Yeah, there is a silver lining though to Carolina losing. I did have preseason, and I said this on Twitter because I sent it out to all my clients in October. Was the New York Rangers to win the East and the Stanley Cup? That's the good news. It's still alive. 10-1 to win the East, 20-1 odds to win the Stanley Cup. That's the good news. The bad news is who you're about to play. The 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, which is going to be a very difficult task for the Rangers. But with Shesterkin playing as well as he is right now, who knows? Maybe they can make it a very, very interesting series against the Lightning just with that, especially with you see the way Fox is playing on the blue. Philip Hedl, what a series for him. The young kids are getting better. New York, and don't sleep on Gerard Gallant. What a coach. How are you doing, Vegas? You let the guy go. When you had a 5-game losing streak, you let the guy go, and now look what he's doing here with the New York Rangers. Stupid. It was that day that it happened. I've been screaming and yelling about it for years, and I'll never forget the Golden Knights' stupidity there, getting rid of Gerard Gallant. Foolish, absurd that they fired him when they did.
I don't think too many people agreed with that move. I mean, not even agreed, but I think I would say the large majority of people knew that he was going to do good things wherever he went after that.
Good quality coach. Look what he did. Florida turned him around instantly. Vegas, year 1, Stanley Cup final, good instantly. And New York Rangers, 1 year. This is his first year there. They're not supposed to be in the conference finals this year. They're way ahead of schedule. And Gerard Gallant, big part of it. Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like what you guys said about just the fact that, you get 2 power play opportunities in the first period, capitalize on both. One of them was in the trailing seconds of it, I think like 6 or 7 seconds remaining in the power play. And in a series like that, with how many low scoring games we saw, obviously yesterday didn't result in a low scoring game, but in that series in general, you give any team a 2-goal lead. That's a big cushion, maybe not if it's Colorado, St. Louis, or, Edmonton, Calgary, that's not a big cushion. But in a series like that, a 2-goal lead feels like almost like a 4-goal lead with the goaltending we saw and the defensemen we saw. So, when I saw that happen as someone that was on the Carolina Hurricanes, I thought, hey, the Rangers momentum is in their favor, but also just with that lead, they can change the way they can play. But also, I'll be honest, like I was a little bit surprised at Carolina, kind of what they did on their power play. They didn't get anything out to the wings. It was all shots from the point, trying to get some, tips in front of the net and stuff like that. But I really don't think they made things difficult for Igor Shesterkin. Like, he had a great game, don't get me wrong, but I really don't think Carolina made it that difficult for him. And that surprised me a little bit. I understand this is why we always talk about shot quality versus shot quantity, right? I almost would have rather them limit some of those shots, or get a little bit fewer shots, but create a few more opportunities. And I'm sure you guys as players, like, you hear in the arena all the time, like the fans yelling, like, shoot it, shoot it. I hate when I'm at a game watching and fans yell that. They don't know what they're talking about. They just, and
What, shoot into a pair of shin pads?
Yeah.
That's what you want him to do? Yeah.
Yesterday, I mean, how many shots did Carolina have that were probably, right to the glove or right to the chest protector? It's easier to say that now, but I tweeted out yesterday, and I kind of got some shit for it because it's a little bit of a different comparison. Guys, I'm a Canadiens fan, so I tweeted out, this Rangers run's kind of reminded me of the Canadiens last year. And people were like, dude, the Habs were horrible until the playoffs, and the Rangers are a 110-point team this year. But when it comes down to it, like, we don't talk advanced analytical numbers that much on the show, but we do sometimes. And yesterday I ran through all those numbers. Carolina was supposed to win game 6, believe it or not. And they lost 5-2. All the advanced numbers pointed towards Carolina. Sorry?
They were supposed to win game 3 too, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So, sometimes you look at it, and that's what it was like with Montreal last year. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm a Canadiens fan, but in some of those games they played in against both Vegas and Toronto, maybe not against Winnipeg, but they weren't supposed to win those. But when you have a hot goalie and you take advantage of the chances you get, that's what happens. A goalie makes big saves, 2 power plays in the first period, boom, you're up 2-0. I mean, those are bonehead mistakes too, like a too many men penalty in a game 7. Are you kidding me? That just can't happen.
No, it can't.
That quick start, there's that stuff to come back.
Yeah.
I mean,
what do you guys think about people that say, like, they don't have a superstar type thing? Because I'm like a big believer in, like, how important depth is in hockey. I just think, it's not like basketball where you have the big 3, but people were kind of saying that about Carolina. They don't really have that superstar, and even like a scorer like Aho had a really quiet series. What do you guys think about that? Because I always say that if you really care about superstars, what's going on with the Leafs and Matthews? What about McDavid until this year and the Oilers? I think that it's all about being well-rounded. Like, do you guys agree that people are saying, well, Carolina didn't have any superstars, so that was the difference?
Yeah, I would say, because I mean, if your superstar is not clicking, right? Well, who's going to score then? Then have 3 lines, say, that can score, and say maybe one of the lines isn't clicking or 2 is not. I mean, you still have, you still have well-rounded guys that can score.
Yeah.
I mean, and all their lines can score. So, I mean, I would say, especially in playoffs, I mean, that's 100% where they're going to, I guess, gain those leads. Because, I mean, if your superstar is out of it, and they might be snake bitten for a whole series. So,
yeah. And, like, I wouldn't call Aho and those guys superstars yet. I mean, they're really, really, really good, talented players, and like, I mean, the stats and everything that they put up in, like, the last years, it's like right on the edge to, like, superstar status, right? Superstars or not, I mean, it's like Casey said, you need your best players to be your best players, and I don't think that was the case. And Carolina was like really, really good for like 3/4 of the season. I didn't really feel that they were really good for the last little bit, and I don't really feel that they played up to their true potential in the first round against Boston either. But I was kind of hoping that I was going to click eventually, but yeah, obviously it didn't. And then losing their all-star goalie is not going to help either.
No. And then losing their second goalie as well doesn't help, and then Zibanejad, Kreider, those guys, I mean, I love that expression you said, your best players have to be your best players. Yesterday, the Rangers' best players were better than the Carolina Hurricanes' best players.
It's unfortunate with the goaltending situation, but at the same time, if you're Carolina, you knew what you were getting into when you signed Frederik Andersen last year. You knew what you were getting into. I mean, Toronto felt the same pain. I mean, and now you felt it this year. I'm sorry to say this. He takes a decade to heal up from injuries. That's what we're looking at right now with Freddie. I mean, it's a situation right now where it's tough for him. He's a slow. He never. They just kept saying he was skating, but he never got to the point where he was really close to returning. To game action. And now you're in a tough spot. Ranta has been a goalie that's started maybe 10, 15, 20 games a year, who's been in and out with injuries, who's now in his mid to late 30s, who's now being asked to play 12 consecutive playoff games like he has. And I think he kind of hit a bit of a wall, where when you're not used to kind of playing that many games in a row, it affects you a little bit. And I think that's kind of what had happened here with Carolina with Antti Ranta was great. I mean, he did everything he could. Yeah. I thought he was very good early in the playoffs, but I think maybe the number of games he played consecutively maybe caught up to him a little bit. But yeah, disappointing because I think we all thought high expectations. What's disappointing to me too, guys, is Game 7 specifically. Andrew brought it up. Game 6, high danger chances all over the place for them against the Rangers. Game 3, Eddie, you mentioned it. They had the better of the play, expected goals, high danger chances, all those advanced numbers that you look at. Game 7, though, no second and third chance opportunities. Where's the rebounds? Where's the second looks? Where's the traffic in front of the net last night? I never saw any of it. Igor Shesterkin's just picking cherries all night. He's going to stop everything when he sees it from the blue line like that. He's great at looking around the defenseman, peeking around, looking for the puck coming in. He's phenomenal with that, and it was just too easy for him last night.
I agree.
Yep, no doubt. Let's move on now to actually, you know what? We have a couple questions. I don't want to ignore the questions. We've got Eddie here. Some people have questions, people watching in our chat. There was one that was earlier that I'm going to see if I can find it here, scroll up a little bit. But we do have someone that asked a question here for Eddie in terms of, the heritage. Hold on one thing. Let me see if I can. There we go. 8 years ago, Rich H., I think he's a Canucks fan. Pretty sure he is. Eddie started the Heritage Classic over Roberto Luongo. I wonder if he has any other classic Torts stories that he can share. Of course, John Tortorella, who apparently might be the next Flyers head coach. Well, at least he's being interviewed. Eddie, any Tort stories? I'm sure you got to have one.
I mean, my favorite Tort story, I think, is we played against Detroit away, and we lost 1-0. We were like completely flat, and Torts had a post-game interview after, and like Torts and David Booth were so like on top of each other all the time, and like that entire year was like a battle between those two. But Torts went out in a scrum. He said, David Booth was our best player today. It's really good for David Booth, but really bad for our team.
Wow.
So
poor David Booth.
That was one. That was one of my like favorite with Torts. Another one with Torts and Boother as well. So Torts had this special rule that like, if it was a 1:00 meeting, the meeting could start anytime as 7 minutes early, or it could actually start on time. But the meeting started when Torts came in the room, right? So David.
Oh, did we lose him? Oh my God! Right in the middle of another.
Like
there we go. We're back.
Phone call or something came in. Busy man.
Yeah. So David had this like warm-up routine and everything that was like he had to take advantage of like every single minute to get warm. So like before towards meetings and everything, he was laying in the middle of the room. He was doing sit-ups and everything, and everyone was just sitting there waiting, right? So one time Torts came early, so like the meeting started like six minutes early, but it was on Torts time. So right, and Boother came in like 1 or 2 minutes before 1, and Torts.
But it was past Torts time, right?
Lost it. He was like, "Get the fuck out!" and Boother was like, "No, I'm not leaving." and Torts is like 5'7", 5'6" maybe, and Boother's like 6'3", so they just went back and forth at it, and like Torts was like trying to carry Boother out of like the meeting and everything, and everyone just started dying laughing. It's like
He's trying to like pick him up and lift him out of the room.
Trying to pick him up, and like Boother's like 240 pounds, right? He's like pure muscle, and like Torts is like 5'6". Like, yeah, that was funny.
That's also me trying to lift anything. By the way, pretty much. That's absolutely that's hilarious. So, but now basically, what you've confirmed for me, Eddie, is the next show that I've got to try to put together with the two guys in the same room are David Booth and John Tortorella here on the ice, guys. We'll see if we can make that happen at some point. But no, that's unbelievable. So David Booth, by the way, he had a good career for a bit. Florida, he had some nice time there. Detroit, Vancouver, for a bit, and he's been retired for a while now.
Very hard worker, like extremely.
Yeah, definitely he was. Speaking of hard workers and great skill. I'm the king of segues. I fucked that one up. Sorry, I didn't bring my best there with that potential segue.
Both these teams probably have some hard workers on them. Edmonton and Colorado. Let's go.
They probably do. Game 1, here it is. It's the series we're all clamoring for. Edmonton Oilers, Colorado Avalanche. We've got Colorado minus 180 home favorites here in Game 1. They are even bigger favorites than that for the series, minus 240. They are for the series. Total is 7 here in Game 1. And like I said, I'm petrified to bet the under in this series. I really am with the firepower that we have seen from both of these teams. I like what Nathan MacKinnon said yesterday. And because this is a pet peeve of mine, I've said this before. We are excited for the individual matchup, no question. Nathan MacKinnon, Connor McDavid. Of course, who wouldn't be excited about that? But I like what he said. Don't bring this Nathan MacKinnon versus Connor McDavid shit around me. Don't bring that rhetoric around me. This is the Edmonton Oilers versus the Colorado Avalanche. You know, this is a team game at the end. He says, I don't pay attention to that. And that's always my pet peeve. Whenever Washington plays Pittsburgh, the networks, what are they saying? Crosby versus Ovechkin, right? All the time, every time. No, Penguins versus Capitals. It is a team game after all. And I'm glad Nathan MacKinnon agrees with me with that. This should be phenomenal. I think in Game 1, you guys, and I'll ask Casey and Eddie, see if they agree. I think Edmonton's got some things that worry me in Game 1. First of all, going on the road and going from playing Calgary and LA, especially Calgary, in terms of the stylistic matchup. When you look at the Calgary Flames, how often do they activate the defensemen? How often are the defensemen pinching, joining the play, joining the rush? Not as often. Now you go to Colorado, and you've got 6 very, very strong skating defensemen, 1 through 6, led by Devon Taves, Cale Makar, Bowen Byram, who's getting a lot more ice time now with Sam Girard out for the season. He's going to get power play minutes as well. This is a team that is really going to test that Oilers blue line. And I still look at that Edmonton blue line, you guys. And I love Darnell Nurse, Hamilton boy, like me. He's been absolutely terrific. But after that, Cody Ceci has played better than I expected. Can he keep this going? Evan Bouchard, more of an offensive-minded defenseman. Same with Tyson Barrie. Duncan Keith at this stage of his career, can he keep up with what Colorado's going to bring? Brett Kulak is a depth defenseman. How's he going to handle this Colorado team? I think, when you look at it, the fact that Colorado is a 5-man attack all over the ice at all times, that's something totally different for Edmonton than what they saw from Calgary. And I think it could be a little bit of an adjustment. And the other thing, too, is Edmonton feasted on, you know what, turnovers and odd man rushes and transition game and rush chances. They just crushed Calgary, converting on those. Well, Calgary's not as adept as Colorado, at least in my opinion, to get back in position when Edmonton's attacking off the rush. They've got all these guys can skate like the wind. Cale Makar, Byram, Taves, go on down the list. So Edmonton, I don't think, is going to get those chances off the rush, even if Colorado does turn the puck over at times in the neutral zone like Calgary did. I think it's going to be easier for them to get back and try to be in good position defensively against this Edmonton team. I think it's going to be a long series, competitive series, back and forth. I'm going to take Colorado to win game 1 and the series. This is what I tried with Carolina in the last round. It fell short. I'm going to take it here at -120. Colorado to win game 1 and the series at -120. As far as the total goes, I like the over, but I'm going to wait to see if I can get a better number with it live in game. And we do have our betcast tonight live at 8 p.m. Eastern for game 1. So join us on the betcast, and you'll see I'm going to look for a better number with the over in game here when it comes to Oilers and Avs game 1. So that's how I'm approaching it. Let's go to our guests at Casey. Eddie, what do you think? Game 1 tonight, Western Conference Final, and the series overall.
You know what? I'm going to go with I'm going with Edmonton in game 1 here, but I'm going with Colorado for the series. Change it up.
So,
I'm not as impressed by Colorado as everyone else is. Like, everyone else has thought that they would just breeze through and win the Stanley Cup. I mean, they breezed through Nashville, who lost their best player before the playoffs, like in Juicy Sorrows. So they had the backup issues. They played their third string like almost entire series, right? So I don't think Colorado's as good as everyone thinks. I mean, they were having issues with St. Louis as well, and I'm gonna go off the board. I'm gonna go Edmonton in 7. I think like when you have the best player probably in the last 30 years in NHL, I mean, you seem to find a way. So I'm going to go with Edmonton in 7.
There is a little notion that, what's that NBA basketball way of winning in the playoffs? The superstar carries the team, right, to a series win, and it happens all the time in the NBA. I never truly bought into that all these years in the NHL. It was more of a team game. Everybody had to play well. But Connor McDavid's different. He's so freaking fucking unbelievable with what he's done. What did he have? 23 points in 10 playoff games or something like that? 2.3 points per playoff game? That's insane. It's absolutely nuts. He is that kind of special breed where he could actually carry a team to a victory in a series, because I've never seen anything like this from him. Just his ability to impact the game and dominate at all times in every shift. He's making things happen. He's setting his teammates up. He's scoring. Something's happening with him on the ice.
I don't think he's going to get touched as much as he did, like physically, like against Calgary. Because, I mean, Calgary at times, I mean, not necessarily purely McDavid getting, I guess, being hard on him, but just to go through that somewhat of a hard series, kind of more of a battle, right?
Yeah.
So I think he's got better skating defensemen he's got to go against now, but are they going to be as hard on him? Probably not.
That there's an argument there, maybe a little bit more of a physicality bent, if you will, to the Calgary blue line compared to Colorado. That is possible. I think skating wise, they can do a better job, Colorado, keeping up with Edmonton. But you're right. Are they going to mash them through the boards, or are they going to have that opportunity to take some physical liberties with McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, Hyman, all these players that have done significant damage for the Oilers? It's an interesting question for sure. See, you always have to have a plan of attack going into a series, and that's especially at this time of year when it's so tough. All these teams are good. So my thought was Colorado tonight, just because it could be Edmonton initially a little bit of a shock, going from Calgary to Colorado. But if Colorado wins tonight and we cash in with them, I'll probably be on Edmonton, quite honestly, in game 2, because we did remember the Blues beating Colorado in game 2 in Denver in the last series after a game 1 loss. So, and I think betting the losing team in the next game in both of these series, that could be a good way to approach it with both conference finals, in my opinion. And we know Tampa off a loss is just untouchable, and we'll get to that in a sec. Andrew, Eddie, one more thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, Tampa is just like another level. I mean, I watched the last period against game 7 there with the Leafs. Like, I mean, even when it was 12 minutes left, I mean, there was no way that Toronto was going to win that game. I mean, Tampa just looked so confident, and Toronto looked nervous that they were going to blow it again, which they did. And yeah, I mean, it's Tampa knows how to win. And when you're up 2-1 or 1-0 or like whatever, and you get to have Vasilevsky out there, you get to put Hedman out there. I mean, it's really tough to play against them when they're up.
No doubt about that. No question about that. We'll get your thoughts, Casey and Eddie, on the Eastern final in just a second before we wrap up the show. But Andrew, we'll go to you here for the West here. Edmonton, Colorado, game 1 in the series. What do you like?
Well, I think, to kind of what Eddie was saying about St. Louis, I think a lot of people's opinion on Colorado in this one should really be based on how much respect they have for St. Louis. If you really think St. Louis is a good team, then you give them credit and you think, you know what, Colorado battled through and they got it done in 6. If you don't think St. Louis is as good as they looked, then, you're disappointed in Colorado and say, hey, even though they won in 6, they didn't play their best. And I think there's kind of like two sides to that coin. But when it comes down to it, Colorado kind of, got over that hump. Here they are in the conference finals. But when I look at them, the fact of the matter is, there was a game they played in where Nathan McKinnon, of course, I follow him quite a bit being from Nova Scotia, had a hat trick and they didn't win that game. How does your best player score a hattie and you lose the game? You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff is worrisome. And I think that I talked ad nauseum about how much depth I thought was on Colorado with, Nichushkin, Kadri, Rantanen. I mean, it's not really depth. They're all great players, but of course, McKinnon and Landeskog up there, and they add Arturi Lehkonen at the deadline. But it didn't really seem like they had that. Actually, for a lot of that St. Louis series, it really was their top guys or nothing. So I'm interested to see. But I think that a point that you made about the blue liners is a big deal, which is why actually one of my favorite bets tonight might surprise some people, but is Devon Toews to get a point at -130. He's on the defensive pairings with Cale Makar, who you get just horrible odds on him to get a point. The guy gets almost a goal a game for a defenseman. But Toews is obviously right there with him, even though he's more of a stay-at-home guy compared to Makar. He's still up there in the rush, and he's someone that can create. I feel like the defenseman jumping into the rush will cause some issues for the Oilers, but they can also counterattack it and catch them on a lot of 2-on-1s, just like we saw if the forwards don't replace the D, which we've seen them do quite a bit as well. But it's funny because we have so many different angles here between the four of us as far as the game 1 and the series. I think that what I'd like to do from a betting perspective is for Colorado to win game 1, and then I'll actually jump in and get Edmonton plus 2.5 games in the series. Right now at DraftKings, Edmonton plus 2.5 games is -220.
Yeah, you don't want to lay that.
You don't want that right now. The -1.5 games for Colorado is -125, and the -2.5 games for Colorado is +180.
Yeah.
So if they always say a series doesn't start until you lose a home game. So if Colorado wins tonight, we're going to get a much better. I'm not saying it's going to be a great price, but Ian, what do you think it'll be? I mean, if they lose tonight, I think I could get Edmonton like -140, something like that.
I think you'll get something in that range. And another thing to keep in mind, it's why my thinking Colorado can take game 1 tonight. Edmonton's 0-2 in game 1s here in these playoffs. They lost game 1 to LA. They lost game 1 to Calgary. it took them, a game to get into the series and figure things out and put their best foot forward. So that's why my plan of attack, it's Colorado tonight. It's probably come back to Edmonton series or individually in game 2, just like you, Andrew, in some form. That it's a zigzag series to me. Edmonton's not, to me, going to get outclassed by Colorado. Not when you have McDavid and Draisaitl and Kane and Hyman. I do get concerned. You mentioned Colorado didn't have as much of their depth forward stepping up. What about Edmonton? What am I going to get from Nugent Hopkins?
Well,
one game he can score 2.
know.
One game I can't find him with a telescope on the ice. What am I going to get? Seriously, from him? What am I going to get from the Nuge?
But even though
He's
Connor
frustrating.
played really well, I think that they're not there just because of him. As much as he's playing at it, and nobody even thought he even had another level. We keep saying that about him. I don't think they're here just because of him.
No.
And Leon. I mean, Evander Kane.
Hyman.
How about Zach Hyman? Yeah, I mean,
that's a big reason why they're here.
But the Nuge isn't all about scoring, Ian. I don't think. He still does play a 200-foot game that I think it's not talked about as much, but it should be interesting. Also, I want to mention this is the first 7 of the playoffs as far as the total goes. I genuinely think the under could be a look here in game 1. I haven't pressed enter. I haven't put any actual physical currency on it yet.
It's a little leap of faith, but I understand where you're coming from.
I just think that everybody looks at this game and thinks it's going to be like Battle of Alberta round 2. Colorado's better on defense than I think Calgary is.
I think game ones are all like so guessy. You know what I mean? Especially for something like this. I mean, they're both, I would say between the 2 teams that these guys played last round, it's like the run and gun teams made it out, and I guess solid bruiser teams are, I guess, left in the dust. Kind of.
That's a good point. Calgary and St. Louis. Yep.
And then the PK is really crucial here too. 85% PK for the Oilers. For the Colorado Avalanche in the playoffs, 73% PK. Which is shocking. I mean, that's a pretty big difference, 85 to 73. And of course, the power play percentage, 34 for Colorado, 28 for Edmonton. So I think special teams will be a huge part of this series as well.
Both power plays. Yep. Yeah. And there's one prop I want to throw out, and this is one that I really like for tonight. Bowen Byram, defenseman for Colorado, is going to play second power play minutes. He's moved up the lineup. In recent games. He's now on the second defensive pair with Eric Johnson going into this series. So he's getting more minutes. He's getting more opportunity. And one of our player prop, logical, strategies is when a forward moves from the third line to the second line or the third line to the top line, or their defenseman moves up from the third pair to the second pair to the top pair. They get more minutes. They get more responsibility, more ice time, play with better players. They're good prop bets in those games, points to maybe score a goal, to get a point, shots on goal, all of those things. And Bowen Byram, you look at it and they've really used him a lot more at the end of that St. Louis series. I think it's definitely something to consider here tonight. Bowen Byram, by the way, last 3 games, he had 5 assists, 10 shots on goal. So Bowen Byram to score a point tonight for Colorado, I think it's a great bargain. I absolutely think that's a really good look here with what you've seen from him in the last few games. I'll just see if I can find it here in terms of his points props if they have them. But definitely look at that. Look at certainly maybe even to score a goal, but and shots on goal even, because he's been willing to shoot the puck as of late. Something to consider. Eddie, before we move on to the East final, I'll throw it out at you, the goalie matchup. Darcy Kemper, Mike Smith. Mike Smith is number 3 in these playoffs right now, behind Vasilevsky and Shesterkin for goals saved above average. It is that advanced statistic for goaltenders measuring how good they are against the high danger, point blank, slot area scoring chances. And Mike Smith's, believe it or not, 3rd, right behind Vasilevsky and Shesterkin. Everyone laughs about the gaffe that he made on the Rasmus Andersson goal in the last series, and it was a bad goal. He lost sight of the puck, but really, other than that bad mistake, he was very good in that series, and he was pretty good against LA, and he's been really good since the beginning of April, which is when things turned for him. Whereas you look at Darcy Kemper, he had a couple hiccups late in the St. Louis series. 3 months ago, you say, who would you want in this series in goal? everybody's going to say Darcy Kemper. He's had a brilliant season for Colorado overall. But now Mike Smith's come on strong. He's played great since the start of April. We did see a couple goals go in on Kemper against St. Louis that maybe he should have had. Things have changed a bit. And Mike Smith's right there with, of all people, Vasilevsky and Shesterkin in goals saved above average, which tells you there's nothing too fluky about his performance, Eddie. What do you think about the goalie battle here?
No, and I think that Mike Smith has a history of like playing really well in the playoffs. I mean, like Smitty has even when he played in Calgary, he was really good in the playoffs. Like the few appearances that he got here with the Coyotes, he was really good in the playoffs. Like he just has that extra level. And it's like you said, I mean, if you compare the goalies in the second round, like Smitty did play a lot better than Darcy did. And I'm really interested in seeing how that's going to go. Colorado also had troubles with Binnington in the beginning, and then he got hurt, right? So they have yet to beat a starting goalie in the playoffs, which is another reason why I don't 100% get the hype, you know, like with Colorado right now, and that's why I'm going to go with Edmonton.
There we go. And I'll just point it out too in terms of the stats. Igor Shesterkin, 15.94 goals saved above average. Andrei Vasilevsky, 13.01 goals saved above average. And then there's Mike Smith, 12.33 goals saved above average. The only goalie that's better than those three I just mentioned is a goalie that's not in the playoffs anymore. He got knocked out in the first round with a 16.36 goals saved above average, Jake Ottinger for the Dallas Stars. It was just unbelievable. He's the reason it even got to Game 7. In the first round against the Calgary Flames.
Kemper on that list.
And that's what I was going to get to, Eddie. Kemper on that list, 1.45 goals saved above average, which among playoff goaltenders has him, it has him down around, 14th or 15th.
Yeah.
That's something to keep in mind here. This isn't just that landslide. Oh, most of the season, everybody wants Kemper, would take Kemper over Smith. Now, it's a little bit different. Current form-wise, when you measure the two goalies, it's a little bit different right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep, definitely. All right, we're Andrew and I will talk Eastern Final tomorrow because we're going to have a show tomorrow, and that way we can wrap it up a little quicker. We'll get Casey and Eddie's thoughts on the Eastern Conference Final, just overall series thoughts. Tampa Bay Lightning, New York Rangers. Tampa Bay minus 175 series favorite here. I'll just start with this, Eddie, and ask you first. The goalie guru of us. Here's the New York Rangers goaltenders they faced. Casey DeSmith, Louis Domingue, Tristan Jarry for one game, Antti Raanta, Pyotr Kochetkov. Those are the goaltenders they have faced in the first two rounds of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And the goaltender that they'll face in this round, Andrei Vasilevsky. So you talk about a step up in class. That being said, the counter argument to that, who's got a better goal saved above average right now heading into this series? Believe it or not, it's Igor Shesterkin. 15.94, Vasilevsky 13.01. What a goalie duel this could be. What a series this could be. Eddie, what do you think? Lightning Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, having a really good goalie and then not playing the other team starters, it seemed to be a recipe for success. So
sounds like you think the Rangers' luck is running the fuck out here in the East Final, right?
I think so, but I also thought that the last round. But yeah, I mean, when you look at the two teams, you compare it to Tampa's, just like their experience in winning. I would be surprised if this lasts more than 6 games. I wouldn't be surprised if it only lasts 5 games. I think this series will be over pretty quick.
All right, you're in line with one of our colleagues. He's not on the show today, but he'll be on the Betcast tonight and back tomorrow. Alex B. Smith actually bet Tampa Bay to win this series 4-1. Exact series result, 4-1 Tampa. in 5 games, which is at a very good plus price. I'll just mention it here because he sent it along. Yeah, plus 450 for Tampa Bay to win this series in 5 games over the New York Rangers. So that's what Alex likes. And by the way, Alex likes the Oilers Avs series, exact number of games, 6 games at plus 210, which differs from me because I'm actually on 7 games in both of these series. I actually think it's going to be long. I like the 7-game prop with both conference finals, Edmonton, Colorado, as well as Tampa and the Rangers. All right, Casey, what do you think here, East Final?
I don't see it going more than 6 games. I see it going 5 for Tampa, but I don't see it going more than 6 for sure. I don't see how they can. I mean, they're going against Vasilevsky first of all, but then now we can talk about the players they got to go against after that. So
Yeah.
I just don't think it's a good matchup. I really don't.
I got to ask you guys this. I mean, yesterday I said this. It's nothing worse than talking about something, doing a few shows a day and then not betting it myself. But, with these props, you can now bet goalie saves, which is really cool, I think. And so yesterday on a video,
it was a great bet with Shesterkin yesterday. Yeah, I know what you're getting at.
I was talking about that, and I didn't actually take it. And, I think that if you're going to like the Rangers in any game in this matchup, would you guys agree that it's going to be from Shesterkin standing on his head? Like I tell people, the plus money is nice as the underdog bet, but it's going to be because of that guy. So would you say if you like the Rangers, just to take that prop?
The saves?
Yeah, like anybody that's going to bet them at all during that series, I feel like it's just a better idea to take that prop, the save prop.
I can let you guys know too. There's a few buildings in the leagues that are a lot more generous with their shot count than others as well.
Really?
and I would say if you're going to take the shot bet, they're always counting a shit ton of shots in Edmonton. You always get some extra saves there.
That's hilarious.
I'm going to have to keep that in mind. Arena's cooking the books with the shot counter. Wow.
That's awesome.
Kind of the same thing. You do not get anything for free in the Madison Square Garden. I can tell
that guy's full time.
Yeah. Yeah. But Edmonton, Carolina is a pretty good building too. If you're rolling through to the regular season and you're going to look past this, Anaheim always puts a ton of shots on the board too.
Yeah, so some invisible shots that end up counting as shots on goal, apparently, in some of these places.
That's kind of like counting hits. Like every building's completely different.
Yep,
hits.
Everything's the same.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And guys, I feel like with betting, like it's so crazy because like it's like so new how obviously with the legalization across like a lot of the states in America and in Canada now, it's becoming more of a thing where it has to be done properly because people are actually like risking money on this, which like I'm sure as the players I love seeing NBA players say like, I don't give a shit about your money and stuff like that. I find that funny. But like in the baseball, like I know a lot of people that have been in the betting industry for a long, long time, and they're mad about like managers not putting out like who their starter's going to be, or they missed a stolen base this guy got or something like that. You guys saying that makes me think I probably should stay away from those sometimes. Well, people are actually betting on these hit props these days. I mean, from what you just said there, I don't want to ever bet on that in my life.
Well, like an opinion, right? It's basically I mean, they probably have, okay, it's got to be.
Did you just bump a guy? Did you hit a guy?
But I mean, everyone's still, there's at least partial opinion. And
there we go. That's all right. Well, they'll be back. This has happened a couple of times now. They'll be back. No worries. There they are.
Guys getting blown up.
Is that a text message or a phone call?
No, it's phone calls. Everything.
Yeah. Well, they do work for a living. Well, we do too. But they will be getting back to work in a few minutes' time. We promised. All the clients of these two great real estate agents, Casey Nelson and Eddie Lack, calm down. They will handle your inquiry. They will answer your voicemail. They will answer your call in just a few minutes. We promise.
They're asking if the deal closed. Did the deal close or not? Did they get the offer or?
I had one today. At 2 on Friday. It's been a good week.
Let's make a
Man.
deal. Yeah.
It's a tough. I'm at that part of my life here right now, Eddie. It's a tough thing right now, man. It's a tough market here in the East Coast of Canada. Everything is just flying over like crazy.
Still, it's kind of
man, it's nuts.
slowed a little bit. I heard with like the new foreign buyers rules and everything like that. Yeah.
It's tough, man. First time home buyer, at least I'll get a, different like tax deductions and like a better price for like the down payment. But
yeah,
maybe I'll be hitting up Arizona.
Great for the sellers. It's tough on the buyers. That's the way you look at it right now.
I know a good real estate agent here. Casey's going to take care of you.
Yeah, Eddie doesn't need any more deals.
Awesome stuff. Oh, by the way, I like everybody in our chat. Eddie dispensing this info about the shot clock or the shot counters and some of these arenas cooking the books here to make the shot on goal numbers inflated for teams. They're all like, which ones? And I can see them. They're just scrambling to write this shit down so they're aware of it moving forward and can maybe take advantage of it. Certainly that's good from an over saves, over shots perspective. Some of those places Eddie mentioned, Carolina, Kakalaki, New York, Madison Square Garden and others, but definitely keep in mind. But unfortunately, Eddie mentions Carolina. They increased the shots on goal numbers. Would have been nice they did that for Aho for me last night. I had over 2.5 shots. The guy stuck on 2 since midway through the second period. He ended up with 2 shots on goal. Those motherfuckers. They wouldn't put one more shot on goal for me last night for Aho.
Guys, do either of you guys know Liam O'Brien in Arizona?
I don't.
No.
He plays for the Coyotes right now. He's
Big tuna.
Yeah, he's one of my really good friends. His older brother. He just signed a contract there again to come back. It was his first year with the team this year, but
Cool.
he lives in Arizona now. He actually just got a house recently, but great guy. He just moved there.
Needs to sell it with us.
There you go. So they both like Tampa in the East Final. Eddie likes Edmonton in the West Final. Are you with Edmonton as well, Casey?
No, I think
Colorado.
I could see Edmonton going up. I could see him being.
You want a nice little friendly wager between the two of us? Or what?
I saw Eddie on Twitter lost a wager on the Oilers and Flames to somebody, and he had to wear a jersey. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I could see them leaving Edmonton. I could see Edmonton being up 3-1, but going to Game 7 for the Avs.
All right, there it is. Awesome stuff. All right, that's a wrap. We'll wrap it up. It's been a long enough show. Let these two guys get back to work. We'll get best bets from them, though, first to wrap up the show. Before we do that, DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NHL. New customers bet just $1 on any NHL team. Get $150 in free bets if they win. If DraftKings Sportsbook isn't available in your state, you can play for huge cash prizes with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Hockey Contest. DraftKings giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings app, sign up for an account, use the promo code THPN, bet just $1 on any NHL team, get $150 in free bets if they win. That's promo code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Must be 21 years of age or older, must reside in a DraftKings Sportsbook state. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Download the DraftKings app, sign up for an account, use the promo code THPN. All right, best bets to wrap it up for this Tuesday edition. Great show, Casey, Eddie, awesome stuff. It was a lot of fun. It was way more fun than I thought it would be. Absolutely. Honestly, it was. No, it's always fun.
I know you didn't mean to say it like that, but that's just.
I thought this show was gonna suck.
Yeah. We've had fun. Every guest has been fucking awesome. It's true. I mean, we've had fun, but this was fun times 10. That's what I was getting at here with this show. Andrew, let's start with you, and then we'll get to Casey and Eddie with their best bet. We'll start with you, Andrew. What do you like for best bet?
Yeah, I'm going to give out the Devon Toews to get a point. I know it might seem like kind of a unique best bet, but I think that with the series price and with the price for tonight on Colorado, it's a little bit steep and a high price, not one I'm willing to put my hard-earned money on, especially in Game 1. But I think a prop at a reasonable price like this for a guy on the top defensive pairing like Taves, I feel like he can get involved, whether it's a goal, primary assist, secondary assist. I feel like he gets involved tonight. So Devon Taves to score, get a point tonight at -130.
All right, -130, Devon Taves to register a point for best bet for Andrew McGinnis. All right, we'll do Casey first with your best bet, and then you can pass it off to your partner in crime, Eddie, for his best bet. So have at it, boys.
I kind of like that Byram one. I think it was. Is it to record a point tonight?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I don't know if you said odds or not, but I mean, if he's moving,
they
up.
may not be posted, to be quite honest, because I'm looking, and I know in theory I want to bet. I'm just trying to see if they've got him posted anywhere, and I don't see it yet. So I'm worried.
Yeah,
I mean, if that opportunity, but
yeah, if he's moving up and playing more minutes, and then also that second peeps, I don't see why he can't record a point pretty easily.
All right, there we go. So hoping we get that. So a point, and again, you like Colorado in the West Final, Casey, and you like Tampa Bay in the East Final. All right, Eddie, best bet. I like it. We just shifted over.
I think Edmonton's going to win the first game, and I'm going to go for the good odds. I'm going to go -1.5 on the Oilers tonight. I think they're going to come out swinging, and I'm not as impressed with Colorado as everyone else. So I think that Edmonton will win game one -1.5.
-1.5 goals. That's alternative puck line style. That Jimmy Murphy would be proud, our colleague.
Wow.
That's like Jimmy reverse puck line, Eddie reverse puck line right now. But there you go. Like in the Edmonton Oilers, -1.5, which is +330. How about that for return on investment if it comes through? +330. Edmonton Oilers -1.5 puck line. Funny story, I got to say, we do have a family story from my past regarding Eddie. We're watching a Canucks game.
Put yourself on the screen, Ian, for the story.
Yes, I will. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. My uncle, hard of hearing. He's had a hearing aid for years. So Vancouver's playing a game. It just happened to be on. I think it was a game you were playing pretty well, Eddie, that night. And so he's watching the game. And he's one of those people that doesn't watch a ton of hockey, but we're there and we're forcing my uncle to watch hockey because we're hockey fanatics. So got to put the game on, even though we're visiting, around the holidays, I think it was. So Eddie's playing Vancouver. He makes a big save, and he's like, hey, this guy's pretty good. Who is this guy for the Vancouver Canucks in net? And of course, he's hard of hearing, so we got to shut. It's Eddie Lack. He's like, who? It's like Eddie Lack. And he says, Eddie Shack, isn't he dead? and
That's awesome.
And it's funny because he wasn't at the time, Eddie Shack. He was not dead. He actually only died 2 years ago. So he got that wrong. So not only
he had everything wrong.
Yeah, he got everything wrong. He was still alive. He had him dead. And he had you apparently as an 80-year-old man.
Oh, that's
Eddie
awesome.
Lack. So that is this funny shit from back in the day. Awesome stuff. Casey Nelson, Eddie Lack, thank you a million times over for joining us. It was a lot of fun. And we appreciate you guys being on. Say some final words before we get out of here.
Yeah.
just don't bet the house on Edmonton -1.5 today. I feel good, but
we always
don't
say
bet
that.
the house.
Bankroll management. Yeah.
Don't tweet me if I lose. Don't like throw shade out there. I know a lot of Edmonton fans came back at me because I said the Flames in 5, which obviously didn't go very well. So bet what you can afford. It's all fun and games, and yeah, have a good night.
I respect it. There
you go.
I-
And briefly,
I-
Colorado.
do the opposite of what he said. Absolutely feed him if he's wrong on this one.
Yeah. So Eddie, I got to make this clear though. So you got absolutely ripped for what happened last round, and now you're joining the wagon. You're hopping on the wagon now, and for the conference finals.
So my Twitter got hacked like 3 weeks ago, and whoever hacked it was pretending to be me and just threw shit on the Edmonton Oilers out there for about 6 days before I got my account back. And like
Wow.
I just got,
Are you joking? Are you serious? I can't tell.
like completely.
No, I know. I saw him post the
serious.
video a couple of weeks ago saying my
Yeah.
account's been hacked. Don't respond to
Yes.
anything. I saw that. Yeah.
So I just got so much shit back from Oilers fans, and it wasn't even me tweeting it, but I got so much shit back. And like now, last week, it was me. I said Flames in 5, like that was all me. But Oilers fans just think that I got something out for them, and like I really don't. I have a lot of friends that are Oilers fans, and they were all texting with me yesterday. They're like, just jump on the bandwagon. We're ready to welcome you. Like, just come on the good side. And I was like, well, I haven't really been like right in the second round. Are you guys sure you want me on the wagon? But
They didn't accept your explanation that was fake Eddie Lack that was doing all of that?
my friends did, but like not like John up in Edmonton, who yeah, I mean, his favorite part of the day is to chirp old retired goalies, I guess.
They wouldn't buy in the story. That's a shame. Well, we're going to bat for you here, Eddie. So it was, it was not him, but I like that you still honored it though, or I think you plan on it. So
yeah, it will. Well, like the Flames bet was me talking smack about the Oilers. It was not me.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So yeah, it did pick them to lose, but wasn't talking all that shit. That you saw on Twitter about him. Yeah, my best bet, just briefly, there we go. Colorado to win game 1 in the series. There you go. Minus 120. That's what I'm going to go with. I think they win tonight, and I think they win. It won't be easy, but I think they find a way. Minus 120. That's what we'll go with. All right, that's a wrap for the Ice Guys. The Betcast is tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Join us for that. DM me or email me if you want a spot on the Betcast. We'll send you the link before it starts. We're looking forward to that. Steph Fournier is going to join us on the Betcast. Andrew, if you're on the Betcast, you might finally be able to talk to him. Sounds like he might be joining us on the Betcast. A couple other people as well. All of our viewers and listeners, welcome to join us as well. So Betcast for Game 1, Oilers Avs tonight. Join us for that. Looking forward to it. And great stuff, Casey and Eddie. We thank them again. For Andrew McGinnis, for Casey Nelson, Eddie Lack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll talk to you again tomorrow on Wednesday for another edition of the Ice Guys presented by the Hockey Podcast Network and the Betcast tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.